C10 Talk, episode 164. Mr. Jeff Catlin. Who's Jeff Catlin? He's the busiest man behind the scenes at Barrett Jackson.
There's really a whole kind of science to it that I don't think anybody ever really thinks about. I'm probably the only one who lays awake at night and dissects it all apart. But, I take my job serious. There's not only that aspect of live TV, but I mean the safety factor of everything. There's so many people and they bring their kids and everything, which we love to see. And, I feel responsible for all of it. So it's a lot of work and I feel like I got a pretty good handle on it. And there's a lot that goes into it that nobody really knows about. So,
damn, son. If you're like me and you want the best possible products for your build, Mar-K Quality Parts has you covered. From side moldings to bedwood and so much more. mar-k.com and follow them on Instagram too. Hey guys, it's time to upgrade your stock lighting on your classic truck for increased visibility and safety. Think United Pacific. And by using code C10 Talk 15, you'll save 15%. upcarparts.com. Save 15% by using code C10 Talk 15. C10 Nation, are you looking to upgrade your power plant? Are you thinking about going with an LS or an LT based motor? If you are, PSI Conversions is your go-to for your wiring harness needs. psiconversions.com/C10 Talk. When you're looking for classic Chevy or GMC truck parts, brotherstrucks.com is your number one source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC restoration parts. Head over to brotherstrucks.com and order your free catalog today.
Let me tell you what Melba Toast is packing right here. I've got 411 posi track out back, 750 double pumper, Edelbrock intakes, scored over 30, 11-1 pop-up pistons, turbojet, 390 horsepower. We're talking some fucking muscle.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind? That just happened.
Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 truck podcast.
And now I have a chance to be the best, maybe the best in the world.
My old man is a television repairman. Got the ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
I said I got 50 cents in that jukebox, and all I can hear is your mouth clapping. You hear that?
Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
All right. What up, C10 Nation? A little bonus episode with Mr. Jeff Catlin. I was going to interview Jeff and put him on the 163 episode, but once we got him going, a lot of good content, and we just kept cranking. So let him run with it and turn it into a little bonus episode. One thing I like to ask a lot of the important questions, and because I thought it was going to be a shorter interview, I didn't hit all the big points. But off the air, Jeff and I continued to talk, and one of the things that he said that I really wanted to share, especially in this episode for him, not only is he just a moving machine during the week prior to and during the week of Barrett Jackson and throughout his, the year and all the different auctions that they cover, but he has really humble beginnings. He alludes to and talks about being a hard worker and growing up on the farm. Well, he was a mechanic. He was, he started out wrenching and worked his way from a dealership over to Barrett and then, on up to Mr. Behind the Scenes. And he's in charge of a lot of moving and working parts over there. And my hat's off to the guy because he makes it look easy. I don't know how he gets it done in the craziness that really, has added the days. So, from a traditional week to now they're almost, making it close to almost 2 weeks. And that's, in front of our eyes. Everything that goes pre-production and post-production is just a ton of work. So again, just cool because of the humble beginnings, starting off where he has and where he's risen to. Hard work, man. Hard work. So keep up the grind, Jeff. Thanks for taking time for the C10 Nation and doing what you do. 163, again, that's where I was headed with Jeff. for whatever reason, that show and iTunes are not friends. So usually that will just drop automatically, sequential order, auto-populate right where it needs to go. You guys get on your phone, whatever it is, and bam, you're like, hey, I haven't listened to 163. Here it is. I can tell the numbers are down a little bit because it hasn't jumped over there. If you do a search, you can do a search on Barrett Jackson. It'll pop up. C10 Talk will pop up. Bam, hit it, and it's there. It's just that it's not, for me, it's not in my library. So it's not where it normally is. So maybe guys don't even realize that there's an episode 163 out because it's not finding its way into, again, for my, example, into my library. I have to go out and get it. So I'm posting a ton of it on social media to let everybody know, hey, this episode's out there, but maybe some aren't just seeing it. So if you get this 164 and you haven't heard 163, jump over there because there's a ton of killer content. There's Big Fish and Channing sell that 87. Big Fish has got a couple on board. Hilarious. Who else you got? We got Jim Lewis with an OBS truck. We've got Tony Smith with a 6456. It's a 64 Suburban. Pre and post, we've got Mr. Joe Yezzi, Square Body Syndicate, SSO2, and the new owners. We've got Dan Hogan, Hoagie Shine, and his son Tristan. And, they sold that 1972, but they put a 68 front clip on there and sold that for $130. So there's a lot of really good content on there. It's just not auto-populating into the library. So hopefully 164 makes it where it needs to go, and we figure it out. I have emailed my host, and they have emailed Apple as well. So we're trying to figure it all out. He asked me to unsubscribe and resubscribe, and I did all that, and it still hasn't worked. So help us out. Get over there, search it, and find that episode because it's a fun one for sure. I think everybody's heard by now, just a real unfortunate situation, but real shitty deal all around. But R.I.P. Kobe Bryant and really the 8 other people that lost their lives in such a tragic and horrific accident. I know, it's easy to just say Kobe died because we all know who Kobe Bryant is. We grew up watching Kobe Bryant. His hustle. I love the guy for his hustle. Not a big Lakers fan. You live in Phoenix, you're really not supposed to like LA teams, but you can't ever, discredit that dude for his hustle and his ability and his competitiveness. But there's also 8 other lives that, were lost, and it's a tragic deal. So R.I.P., Kobe Bryant, and thanks for the 41 amazing years, or really, once we knew him from about 18 years on. Came into the league right out of high school, and pretty crazy stuff. So what's up for us next is Eastbound and Down to the Throwdown. Now that's our kind of annual event where we jump in a truck or a caravan and we go from Phoenix all the way over to Conroe, Texas. So that will take place from Phoenix. We'll be putting that together here in just about 3 weeks. We'll be leaving and headed east. So we'll go over to Tucson, pick up some of the boys down there, and work our way over to El Chuco, El Paso, pick up some more, eat some yummy food with our boy Pablo over at the Rainbow Fountain Rust Garage. What up, Pablo? Thanks for always hooking us up. And then continuing on east. We'll go to Fort Stockton on night 1, and then continue on over to Conroe from there. So Day 1, leave Phoenix on Wednesday morning, drive all the way to Fort Stockton Wednesday night, sleep. Thursday, we leave Fort Stockton. We go through an amazing little town called Fredericksburg on the outskirts of Austin, and then we get a chance to get to Buc-ee's. Everybody loves Buc-ee's, and then right into Conroe Thursday afternoon, Thursday night. LST Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Leave Sunday midday, mid-afternoon after the awards. Head home, get all the way down to San Antonio, and then Monday, cranking all the way. So San Antonio to the PHX. So if we get on the outskirts of San Antonio, we get all the way over to Phoenix and make it home the next day. Some guys that go all the way to Cali have another day to go, so it's pretty impressive. But Eastbound and Down to the Throwdown coming around here to LST, Lone Star Throwdown 2020. It's going to be huge. They capped that thing off at 2,000, and it never disappoints, except for the weather. So hopefully we get good weather. That's where it's a little shady, because sometimes we get shitty weather. But Eastbound and Down, let's hope for good weather this year. A few other shows I wanted to mention. Dead End Garage, they're having their crawfish cruise in on April 4th. And that's a great time. Autumn and I, my wife and I, and a whole group of guys went out there last year for that. So if you live out there in that area or you want to make a trip, follow Jason, Dead End Garage, and let's see what happens with that one. July 11th is going to be the Chevy GMC Southeastern Truck Nationals, and that's C10 Club Tennessee. That's Brian Ashley, C10 Deputy on social media, and that's a big show out in Tennessee. So follow along on that one, get on his social media, and stay tuned for July 11th if you're out there in that area. August 8th is C10's On the Capitol. That's in Washington State, and that's going to be August 8th. They had their first show last year. I think they said they had like 160. Maybe they were thinking about 160, 120, and maybe they're hoping for 160. But either way, up Pacific Northwest, you've got Todd and Jen Manchester. C10's On the Capitol, August 8th. All right, guys, that's it. So if you're out there and you've got a kick-ass C10 show and you want me to announce that, just send me an email, Ronnie at C10 Talk, and I'll do that and let the people know about what's going on. I've got, let's see here, OBS Talk. So I was supposed to do an interview. I've got Travis Nowak coming on board for an interview, and that will drop hopefully Wednesday. So this Wednesday. So this should drop Tuesday. And what is like the 27th, 8th, 9th, something like that, 28th, 29th. And then Wednesday will be OBS Talk episode number 7. So if you know who Travis Nowak is, you'll like that one. If you don't, you're going to like it even more because you're not going to know who Travis is. And then you're going to be like, oh, damn. Guy was involved with street trucks, trucking, sport truck, and a lot of OBS trucks, a lot of C10 trucks, and the movement. Editor-in-chief of Street Trucks from, I think, like 05 to 2011. And then Mulligan took over, and then from there was Kevin Aguilar, and now Chris Hamilton. So about 4 editor-in-chiefs removed was Mr. Travis Nowak. Now he does commercial real estate, I believe, but we're going to catch up with Travis. And a very passionate C10 Chevy truck enthusiast, and he'll be on OBS Talk number 7 next. So you can jump on over there and check out that one. Please take the time to rate and review us. You know the deal. Like us, love us, share it, let everybody know about it. You can do that from your iPhone just as easy. So once you are subscribed and you're in there, just scroll down and go down a few episodes and bam, it'll say rate and review. Give us a little 5 stars and let us know how we're doing. I appreciate it. We got some new hats in, some flat bills, some curve bills, some OBS Talk, some C10 Nation, some C10 Talk. So if you need a new sombrero, hit up c10nation.com, c10nation.com. All right, guys. Have a great week. Late. All right. What up, C10 Nation? The busiest man in show business, Barrett Jackson, Mr. Jeff Catlin. I tell you what, brother, you were running, gunning all week long. What a great week. How are you doing, brother?
I'll tell you, man. I'm dragging. I'm not going to lie. It's been a long 9 days at the show. Obviously, I've been on site for much longer than that. I think I started out there the day after Christmas and still out there now. We're going to be out there probably the rest of this week and into next just to get everything cleaned up. I think just for the show itself, I looked at my phone this morning. I think from the 3rd of January until yesterday, I walked 120 miles. So I believe my shoes are probably worn out and ready to go in the trash, and my body's telling me I need to take a break, but we're getting there. We're got to get all the cars out now after it's done. No, it was good. I mean, the biggest thing I have ever done ever, and I've been working for Barrett now for I think I'm going on 14 years, and the show by far was the biggest, the baddest, the most profitable. I mean, just more cars, more people, more everything. And, I think you got to witness that for yourself for a bit. I mean, I ran across you 3 times when I was running kind of crazy, and it was good, man. I mean, I'm proud. I'm proud for all the work that myself and my team and everybody has done, because we did something historical in our world. So broke every record I think that we had at Barrett Jackson, from people to cars to, just dollars and just everything. I mean, the charity stuff we did is just unbelievable. I mean, I'm so proud of all that stuff. So it's really it's a lot of work. And I always tell people that. I'm like, I love my job. It is a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it's very fulfilling. And I'm hoping to wind down here maybe by the end of the week. I might get a day off. Maybe by next weekend I can finally get home, put my feet up. So
don't count on it. I'm sure there's something that'll pop up, but I think now that you say that stuff, what's the hardest part about? So for the audience, Jeff is the kingpin of logistics. He's the guy that makes sure things are going smooth, not only in front of the scene, but behind the scenes. And him and his teams, and a lot of radios, a lot of in the ear type back, FBI looking, CIA radio stuff going on. Yeah. Sometimes you don't know, is he talking to me or is he talking to somebody else?
Yeah.
What's one of the biggest things, that goes on behind the scenes that, just is so hard? I mean,
well, what people don't realize, because a lot of just what you see on TV is just that, the auction block and the cars coming up and everything like that. And, that always goes very seamless from that aspect, and that's all by design. But the behind the scenes and what it takes to keep that machine loaded and keep spitting those cars across that auction block every, minute 30 or 2 minutes or whatever it might be, what that takes is the biggest part of the job during the show, because I think this show I had about 148 people total working for me, which is more than I've ever had. I think we were somewhere 115 or 20 people behind the wheel, which takes, people don't realize, the cars are parked all over the place. And in order for a guy to get a car and get it out of its parking spot and drive it through the crowds, which were enormous. You can't go very fast, and there's always people walking and everything. So it's not like you have a clear shot to get up into line, and you got to get put into place with your numbers so everything's in order. And we divide all the lines into 3 cars a piece, so you have some, maneuvering. And then as you go, everything kind of just goes through, and you get across the block finally, and then you got to take and drive back and go all the way back through the crowd to get back to your parking space and park, and then go back and you turn those keys in and you get your next set of keys and you go do it all over again. And on a normal day for my guys that are, I try to keep them to 8 hours so I don't wear them out. I've got actually 3 shifts of people. It's a ton of, maneuvering and keeping everybody focused and working. And, you got to get those people to have a lunch every day. So you got to kind of time all that. You can't have them all go at once, or the next thing you know, you don't have cars back in your staging lanes and things. And it's all something that I've thought it out, and I've dissected the whole process, and, know how many people you need and all of that. And there's really a whole kind of science to it that I don't think anybody ever really thinks about. I'm probably the only one who lays awake at night and dissects it all apart. But, it's all part of keeping that show and that, the perception and everything, because that's what everybody loves to see and what they enjoy, and, what the spectators are coming to pay for and everything. So, I take my job serious. I mean, there's not only that aspect of live TV, but I mean, the safety factor of everything. There's so many people, and they bring their kids and everything, which we love to see. And, I never want anything to happen to anybody. And so I'm very strict with my guys, and everybody's under strict orders on how to operate and everything. And I'm constantly running around watching it all because, I feel responsible for all of it. So it's a lot of work, and I feel like I got a pretty good handle on it, and we learn something every year, and we change things, and we make it more efficient and better. And I try not to make it where it's hectic for the guys, and just keep everybody calm. And there's a lot that goes into it that nobody really knows about. So, that's probably the biggest part of it. Yeah,
I think you guys made it look great. And from a TV perspective, and honestly, for my audience, even there, it looks great. Something to think about. So this place, Barrett Jackson, Westworld, Scottsdale, I'm assuming the majority of you listening have not been there. Obviously, it's in my backyard. it's humongous. And the cars aren't in line or order from 1 through 2,000. You know, they're all over the place. So as you're walking, the randomness of the numbers. So something that you kind of bring up that I don't really think about is not only do they have to find the damn car, they have to extract it, get it to where it needs to be, get it in line, get it in order. And then, like you said, get it back, because those cars get a lot of, a lot of shine, a lot of people seeing them throughout the week. It could have sold on Tuesday and it's getting, a lot of love on, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I do know personally a few of your drivers, that friends of mine, acquaintances, and the team, they should be commended just as you, because it really does go really well. At least it appears it does.
It's a thought out deal. And a lot of the guys that work for me here in Scottsdale have been with me. I'll be honest, some of them have been with me longer than I have even been around. And I've learned a lot from them. And then I'm constantly tweaking and changing and finding things that can make it, a little bit quicker, a little more efficient. And we did learn some things this year from that whole parking aspect, and having things, the cars aren't in any really kind of order. And I really want to start going into some more semblance of order. So it makes it easier for not only for my guys to be able to, unload things and then reload them back in after they sell, kind of like dominoes, but it also makes it easier for, I get asked probably, 6, 8, 10 times a day, hey, I'm looking for, this Wednesday car, lot number, 542, are they in order or anything? And it's like, well, I keep a list of where everything is parked, because that's part of what my job is to park all the cars and everything. And, it's like, oh, well, it's over in this tent. And it's like, well, I'm looking for another car that goes later in the day. Is it right around there? And I'm like, oh, no, well, it's over in this tent. And because it's part of a guy brought, multiple cars, so he's got his together. And we're going to start kind of migrating a bit. I still want to really cater to the customer that has multiple vehicles and, maybe over a certain amount that they get parked together. And anything after that, maybe I can start to put in lot number order, because not only will it make it easier on my people to be able to just kind of go to, the next car right here and the next car right here, the next car right here. I can do it with less people. I can make it happen quicker. It's more efficient. And then also just makes it easier. So like when you come in and you're like, Jeff, where's my truck parked at? I can be like, oh, well, all of the, Thursday cars are in this tent right here. And it starts at lot number, whatever it might be, 900, and it goes up to 1100 over into this tent. So they're all in order. And there's a lot of different factors to it that, nobody really knows about. And it's all part of the process that we do. And we have a lot of things that we use to handle those processes. We've written a lot of our own software. I've helped design a lot of the software that we use for processing the cars and doing the parking and everything. And we're constantly trying to make all of those things better, just to keep things efficient and keep things moving faster. And, I try to keep everybody to where they only work, say, an 8-hour shift, and they get their half-hour lunch, and then they can still, come back the next day. Cause there's some pretty long days there. We started selling cars on Wednesday at 10 in the morning. And we were running until, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So, I can't keep a group of people there working for, 12, 14 hours straight. So I feel like we get a little better every year, and I don't think we'll ever perfect it, but, I try to do the best that I can to make it all look kind of effortless and still, have fun. That seems to be the biggest thing. It is a lot of work, but what other place in the world could you be at and be a guy that gets to, it's like, man, I wonder what the next car is going to be. It's like, oh man, it's a Daytona Charger. Wow. Holy crap, oh, it's a Hemi this, or, oh, it's a, Shelby that, or it's a C10 truck with a giant camper on air ride, or, it's some Duesenberg. There's no other place in the world where you can experience it, which is always what keeps me so involved. The cars. For me, I love cars, and I love the mornings when I get to go in and just walk around when nobody's there, and I'm kind of doing my little mental inventory list of things to do and what we need to. And that for me is the best time, 5 a.m. when I'm just looking at everything and the lights are on and everything's so shiny. And man, I just love that. I mean, I honestly live for those days because I just love cars.
Yeah.
I don't have really favorites. I mean, I have things that I am passionate about, but just everything to stand in those, lines of cars and like, look at the line on, this particular Cobra here, or, look at how the hood ornament is on this old, Chrysler 300, or I don't know. I mean, it's just all the time. I appreciate always that. I always have. And, it's just fun. It's fun to be a part of everything. It's fun to watch the marketplace and what people are into and, how the trends are changing and, everything from when I started, it was all about the big, heavy cars that I call them. And then, into the muscle cars and everything, 50s, 60s, 70s. And, now we're into, trucks brought on a huge surge, back in the day, and they're still just surging even more with everything. And then, the whole resto mod craze right now is just through the roof.
Hey guys, one of the biggest upgrades I was able to make on Orange Slice is my lighting. Think about this. You've got your old school sealed yellow lights. You put in new United Pacific headlights, boom, quadruple the lightage. They look better, they perform better, and guess what? They're safer. So you've got LED options, you've got new headlight options, they look great. And honestly, we upgrade so many things with our trucks, why not upgrade the lighting? When you do, think United Pacific. Here's the best part. You get to save 15% off all C10 products by using code C10 Talk 15. Save 15% off all C10 products by using code C10 Talk 15. Go to upcarparts.com. That's right, upcarparts.com. I don't think you'll forget it. Save today. Thanks, guys. Give them a follow on social media too, Facebook and Instagram. Marquet has been in business for over 40 years. It all started in the original owner's garage. From humble beginnings of a couple parts in a garage to a 2-building manufacturing facility making over 6,000 parts, Marquet has grown to be one of the country's premier truck parts manufacturers. They not only design the products, but also design the tooling to build the products, guaranteeing quality control. They have made their original parts from the original trucks. Aluminum strips are double polished, creating a mirror finish, and crystal clear anodized. They use the highest quality, hand-selected show quality wood that will hold up over time. Why? Because it's kiln dried to precision moisture levels specifically for Marquet. They stock oak, pine, and mini exotics, guaranteeing extremely fast delivery. All parts are manufactured in-house in Oklahoma City, USA. They offer quality parts built by Americans for old American-made trucks. So when you're looking for body moldings, bed strips, bed wood, and so much more, think Marquet. That's mar-k.com.
Now we're into, trucks brought on a huge surge, back in the day, and they're still just surging even more with everything. And then, the whole resto mod craze right now is just through the roof. I just can't believe some of the stuff. So it's exciting. And some of the things from when I was in high school that I loved seeing in the showroom, that I thought were so cool are now becoming like the next round of collectibles. And I don't know. It's a great time to be in the car business and doing what I do for Barrett Jackson.
You bring up such a great point, not only as a guy who loves his job and gets to be involved and, see, touch, essentially somewhat be intimate on a one-on-one basis with these cars and a cup of coffee and just walk the walk. That's also why, to me, the audience, this year I brought my uncle out. And my aunt and my uncle's been into, cars his whole life. Probably one of the biggest guys to kind of help me get into cars as a young guy. He was a car salesman, used cars, new cars. The bottom line is, first time ever, I'm like, so what do you think? He's like, holy crap. I can't even, if I thought it was an 8, it's an 18. Like, just completely blown away. And that's where, from the audience perspective, if you get the chance, and maybe you go to the one that's closest to you, whether that's Palm Springs, Vegas, Florida, whatever, wherever, but go check out one of these auctions. Go check out, a Barrett Jackson and see how amazing. And, if you want to go, I'm positive there's different ways to entertain it, from a complete and total ticket buyer to a guy prospectively buying to a guy selling. So there's different facets there. And what a ride. I mean, you can go to Disneyland, you can go to Magic Mountain, you go to Six Flags, whatever it is. No comparison, when you could see, if you're a car truck guy, like most of us are.
For sure. Yeah. Well, and that's, I hold us as the Super Bowl of car auctions. I mean, we were open for 9 days. We had, and I don't know the exact numbers because they're still putting it together, but 300,000 plus people through the gates from the beginning Saturday with the Family Value Day, where all the kids get in free, and we really do things to promote the hobby to the younger generation, which I am all about, because I am constantly looking behind me for that next person to take my place. And I really want to, that's what got us all, like you said, your uncle got you into it. I mean, my dad got me into it, whether I really thought that it was going to be something or not back in the day. I mean, he's the guy that put me where I'm at. And I'm constantly, I'm talking and I'm speaking to the younger generations. And, I think to myself, if I sway one kid to come and be in the industry somehow or another, like I did something. And just that, from that aspect of day one all the way through the auction until the final Sunday, every day we were there. I mean, the people coming through and just the buzz and I swear, on Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm like, the crowds were crazy, and you've got to come and just check it out, whether you're a general admission ticket person to you want to come and try to buy. And a lot of people think that it's an overwhelming process, and we really make it to where it's not. And it's a very easy thing to get in and be able to come in and be a registered bidder. I mean, we make it very easy to consign and to sell. And we also make it easy to be like a vendor and come in. And I mean, some of the people that this year that I knew were vendors for the first time. I mean, I've been working with the guys from the Roadster shop to come in this year, and we're, starting to form a partnership. And I mean, they had more people through their booth in 9 days than I think they get at most of the trade shows they go to, just because, we're that kind of place. And it's not just a car auction. I mean, we're an event, and, a lot of people come after they watch it on TV for years, and then they come and they're like, holy crap, I had no idea. I'm like, yeah, because it's hard to touch on that while we're on TV, because everybody likes to see the cars going across the block and the prices and all that kind of stuff. I mean, people love that. But the outside stuff that you don't get to see all the time, I mean, there's a lot of whole other world out there that I love to share with people when they come in and they see, all the OEMs there and the new models. I mean, we had the new Mach-E from Ford was sitting out there that I got to go and look at, and just the different, waves of things coming. And I don't know, it's super cool. I feel very blessed to be a part of this whole thing. And as I've worked my way through the company and kind of made it to a point of where I'm at now, and, I'm not sure what the future holds for me as far as which aspect of things I'm still going to be in charge of or doing or whatever. But, the car world is alive and kicking and growing. And I think we show that to people all the time. And it's exciting. Things are changing. Cars that I never thought would be popular are now starting to come up and sell for some serious money and things like that. So it's kind of cool to watch the generational change. And, for me, I mean, I've always been a truck guy. I've always had a truck. My family's always had trucks. So I grew up on the farm, and Ford, Chevy, both. And just to watch the resurgence of, at first it was like the total factory stock, like restored to the T's, trucks, whether they were 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s. And, now we're seeing like the 80s stuff come in and the 90s, whether they're, big, the Ford Bronco or like, the square body stuff is just so hot. And I don't know, I love being a part of it. And I love watching the trends and predicting things. I mean, I was so excited for Joe to bring his square body syndicate truck and watch that go across and be a part of it and watch him, be there and display the truck and really talk to the people and interact. And, I really wanted him to be in a spot where he could get a lot of people there because it's education as much as it is, the thing going across the block to sell. And that's what brings up all of these, they start these trends. And I mean, there's a lot of guys in your world that are listening, I'm sure, that are responsible for these trends that are coming up and just really starting to draw attention and also draw, the dollars that way. So it's cool. It's fun. I like being a part of like helping to, create those things. So,
well, one of the things I like to say is, I've been going to the auction for right about 25 years and always been such a big C10 fan. Well, I used to be able to kind of say, oh, there's like 12 C10s. And this is like obviously 60 all the way up to square bodies 87s. Now I don't even need to like stress about it. Like when I do my little pick of the day this year, I was calling the C10 Talkshin, the OBS Talkshin, pick one car or one truck, I should say, a day. And I don't even really need to stress it that there's a C10 on any given day. And you've seen that. You've lived it for 14 years.
Oh, yeah.
You know that the trend of the 67 to 72s, the 60 to 64s, the square bodies, now the OBS stuff. So,
yeah.
So those trucks, that's been a big thing. And obviously that's our market. It's pretty crazy to see how many of them are entered and, sell for really good money.
Yeah. And I'm really proud that, I've been a little bit of a part. I'm not going to say I had anything huge to do with anything, but I've really kind of pushed the whole truck scene, from the C10 stuff to the Ford stuff to, some of the Dodge stuff that has come in. Because, for me, I mean, growing up, I mean, that was where it was at. And watching some of the stuff that, your base of people are creating and everything. I mean, to me, I mean, it just shows the passion and the really how much that part of the industry is alive and well and growing. And, I just like to bring some attention to all of that. And, it just helps to keep everything solidified and to keep everything growing and moving forward, which is really all we ever want in all of this hobby that we're all in, is to watch everything grow and move and, who's going to come out with the next coolest idea or what to do. And I mean, I've worked with some really cool cats that have done some cool stuff. I mean, Mr. Brandon Cisco worked for me for a while, and I was fortunate enough to help him create our two-door Tahoe that we called Ghost. That was a cool thing, and I know you came and saw us at SEMA with that, and just to see the passion behind that, and then to be involved with some of the other guys that I know here in town, and especially Joe with his square body stuff, who I just I like Joe and I like his thought processes and the things that he comes up with, and to be able to get him out there and kind of get him front and center on the stage, so to speak, so that he could show things off and draw attention to it. I mean, I saw people around that truck of his every time I walked by, and I never got a chance to talk to him that much until the end of it all. And I think he was just blown away by the amount of people that came in and talked to him about it and everything. And I think, he was extremely happy at the end of the deal, and, it perpetuates things forward. I mean, now you've got a truck. I mean, I helped him sell the first truck that he had, just out of like our showroom tent that was at the auction a few years back. And I mean, we set a world record then at that point for, a C10, and the people, I mean, they couldn't have been more excited to buy that truck back then, and then now to take the SS 002 and, you know, put it out there and, you know, see the people and you know, the acceptance and, you know, the dollar figures that it raised and everything. I mean, we're just, you know, it's taken another step and we're moving forward. And I mean, that's, to me, it's what it's all about, you know, perpetuating this hobby to keep moving forward. I mean, you know, I'm not a young guy anymore, and I want to keep everything going, and I'm probably going to have a little hand in how things work maybe over the next, you know, 15 or 20 years, and then I'll hand it off to the next guy, and, you know, who knows what the craze is going to be. But that part of it is really where my passion is at with all of it. I really enjoy that part of it and seeing everything grow. So,
well, and I think you are in the moment, which I try to tell people, try your hardest to live in the moment now. You're enjoying it, but to hear you say some of the things you're saying, you're twofold. You're in the moment and you're doing an amazing job with it. And the show was so fun and well run. But then you're also thinking, you know, 2021, 50-year anniversary, 2022, and you guys it's a balance, right? And now you're like, okay, it's Monday, it's Tuesday, it's over. We got to get back to work. You know, there's a week there to make a transition, and then holy shit, we're ready to rock and roll. We got the big 5-0 coming up, and it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, we're our focus right now. And I don't know if anybody caught it, but the last car of the auction on Sunday. All the other cars that went across the block had our license plate that we made, and it said SD 2020 for Scottsdale 2020. And the last car that went across the block, we changed the license plate, and it said RD number 2 and then 50. So the Road to 50, which is that's going to be our campaign for the rest of the year, is that all of the cars going and everything that we're going to talk about. I mean, we are building up to our 50th anniversary in 2021. And we've already started. I mean, while we were at this show, we were already planning how things are going to be bigger and better and more cars and more display space. And they're doing some improvements to Westworld that'll come this year to where you'll see, you know, another car tint or two, and things are just going to get bigger. And I'm like, I walk away from these shows every year and I think, oh my God, how can we beat that? I mean, God, this year was off the chain and we just did this. And like this year we had this other South Showcase that was inside where we normally have the, like the bull riding in the past and things. And then we lined it with carpet and we put all these cars, and everybody was just like, holy crap, you know, there's more cars here. And like the people just loved it. And we had, you know, other cars out there for sale and stuff for our next auction already on display. And then we're going to go into next year and have even more. And so for me, I mean, yeah, you're living in the moment, and I take everything on a day by day deal, especially when it comes to promoting this show and putting it on in Scottsdale. But you're constantly having to look ahead. I mean, we're already planning on stuff for Florida coming up in April. I mean, I've got a couple of trips I've got to take to meet with some people for, you know, getting some stuff put together for those auctions to, you know, make those, you know, the best that they can possibly be. And then on into Connecticut at Mohegan Sun out there, which is the coolest venue and just super pretty place. And I love going out there. And then boom, we're back in Vegas by September, a little earlier this year. So we get to actually move things up a little bit and get out to Mandalay Bay out there, which I love that venue because it's all in one big room, the cars, the vendors, the block. I mean, you're all in one room, and I love that. And then the next thing you know, I'm going to be right back out at Westworld. So it's fun. It's crazy. It's hectic. I never knew in my wildest dreams that like this would be where I end up. And I'm wired for it for some reason that I thrive in it. And, you know, my passion for cars and automobiles in general is it just keeps me fed. Yeah. No place else I would rather be. And, you know, just watching everything go. I mean, watching all the different stuff that's coming up and, you know, just taking a hold and I call it the next, you know, rising stock, and just to watch everything. I mean, from the trucks, from the square body stuff, from, the import stuff to, the 80s American muscle cars or 90s. And, I went to my first Radwood show this year, which was completely cool, and saw some of that stuff that's going on there. And I mean, I'm just, I'm proud to be a part of it. I am constantly trying to stay, as up to date as I can. And some of the new stuff, I'm happy I have some sons that are in their 20s that kind of keep me, I guess, tuned into the times, because definitely not in my 20s anymore. So, yeah, man, it's great. I'm excited. I'm happy to be a part of everything.
Logistically, one of the things that you do, I don't know how you're ever going to recreate this, but that weather, how you pump that perfect weather in, is just, I still haven't figured that formula out.
Right. Well, I think that it was funny because we were talking about it while we were out there in December, and the rains that we were having while we were setting up and all of that. And my one guy, Casey, who I work pretty tightly with, who sets up the site and builds all the tents and everything, and he kept telling me, he's like, let it rain now. He's like, let it rain now, because every year it rains like this. And he's like, and then we'll have great weather for the show. And sure enough, we did. And I mean, I know that we have contingency plans for everything, for if it's going to rain or whatever. But I mean, just picture perfect Chamber of Commerce weather. I mean, I think on the Saturday when we sold all the biggest cars, I mean, I think it was 72 degrees outside. I got a sunburn. I mean, it's nuts. And it just couldn't have been better. And then, today we're out there, and I wake up this morning and it's raining, and I said, well, at least it didn't happen during the show, and it's only on our move out kind of thing, which still made things a little slower for us today, because in the rain we try to handle things a little differently and keep everybody's stuff as dry as we can, and get them out to the trucks and loaded and out the door and everything. But really fortunate. I mean, we do get pretty fortunate most of the time when it comes to the shows.
Yeah,
but we've dealt with the rain too.
And to think, like today, like you said, I mean, last week, perfect, and for 9 days, maybe a little overcast. But then today, I didn't even expect it to wake up this morning. I was at work at the fire station, wake up this morning, and I'm like, is it raining? And I'm like, holy shit, it's raining. Oh, yeah. And then to think, we just had a really good week, and Barrett Jackson obviously had a great week. You guys broke records. The trucks, the C10s, the K10s, the square bodies, the OBS trucks, Fords. Yeah. There were so many trucks. I don't see it stopping. I do not see it stopping. I think you're going to see more trucks every year, and it's a good time to be a truck fan, to be an old rad truck fan, a seller, a buyer, an enthusiast, just like you and I both are. And it's fun. Yeah. C10 Nation, are you thinking about upgrading that motor? Well, PSI is your go-to source for LSX conversion wiring harnesses. They have been in the LS conversion business for 10 years, or I like to say C10 years. They specialize in standalone wiring harness for GM Gen 2, 3, 4, 5, LS and LT-based engines and transmissions. Aside from harnesses, they offer components and kits for retrofitting older vehicles, PCM programming, fuel systems, engine sensors, replacement GM pigtails, and so much more. All harnesses are made with pride in the USA. In-house full-time technical support to help you with all of your installation questions, after-sales customer support, and a 4-wire hookup to make the installation process as easy as possible. For our listeners, go to psiconversions.com/C10 Talk. psiconversion.com/C10 Talk. Use coupon code C10 Talk and you will get a free shirt and free shipping on orders over $250. Free shipping and a free t-shirt. So if you're going to switch out that motor and upgrade to an LS-based motor, you're ready to go with PSI. C10 Nation, what up, what up? You know I've been buying my truck parts from Brothers for over 20 years now. BrothersTrucks.com. Anything you need from 47 to 87 Chevy and GMC restoration parts. The cool thing about Brothers, they've updated their website, super user-friendly, but they're more than just truck parts. They also offer a killer monthly newsletter, which really honestly goes into all kinds of things within the scene, a little bit in-depth. Sometimes I contribute, and so do many others. Talks about new videos that they have out, new tech, new parts that are on the horizon, and other current events in the scene. So get online, brotherstrucks.com, get yourself the latest catalog, and sign up for the monthly newsletter. It includes restoration tips, videos, hot forum topics, event info, and so much more. So if you want to stay as current as possible, sign up for the catalog and get your Brothers Monthly newsletter. It's that easy. brotherstrucks.com, brotherstrucks.com. It's a good time to be a truck fan, and it's fun.
Yeah. Oh, I'm waiting. I know I've been talking to some other guys now that I know we're tuned in to watch. To watch Joe's truck sell, the K10 truck sell, and I'm waiting now. My next goal that I'm kind of internally setting for myself is, I really want to get that $200,000. Whether it's, we've already kind of hit it with the K10 in the past, but, just to get those trucks to where, like all these Resto-Mod Corvettes, they seem to sit in this realm now between like 200 all the way up into like 400 range. It's like, I want to see the trucks get into that realm. And I think it's just the more that we keep putting them out there and just showing everybody what's possible and all the different ideas that, all your listeners come up with and bring to the show. And I'm constantly seeing all these different things that just blow me away, and it just keeps drawing more attention and more attention. And I just think it's all just going to keep rising as we go. And it's just, next year we're going to get out there and we're going to be, $200,000 trucks. And that's just what I think is going to happen, because it just seems like the industry in a whole is just on an uptick in that realm. And, the Resto-Mod is alive and well. And we've been through all this stuff back in the days from pro street stuff and, fat tire cars and everything. And now here we are, the Resto-Mod is the thing. And, it's a cool time. It really is. I'm very fortunate to be able to see all this stuff, and I get to drive a lot of things. And, I tell my kids, I'm like, my rocking chair memories that I have stored away in my head, they're just countless. And, I keep telling them, yep, someday you're going to have to sit me in that chair, and you're going to listen to me babble for years upon years about all the things that we did at Barrett Jackson. So
yeah,
hopefully everybody's ready for that. So,
and again, for our audience, it's one of those things where there is just no shortage of memory chair, rocking chair memories. You could spend, you think one day, and I'm going to tell you right now, 3 days, you can't cover it. I was talking to one of the guys, Jeremy Churchill, and he's from Georgia, and he came out and he was like, I think he said 4 days. He's like, we've been here for 4 days and we still haven't seen it all. And if you like cars, just like Jeff's saying, cars in general, American, muscle, Euro, anything you like it, you're going to see it. You're going to dive in. The food is good. The food is fabulous. The entertainment, they've got bands playing. I like to kind of say it's a party with an auction around it. You've said it. It's an event with an auction around it. And there's just endless hours and fun things and great weather.
Absolutely. I keep telling my boss, I'm like, all we need to do is get a Ferris wheel and some bumper cars, and we are the state fair of car auctions every year here in Scottsdale in January. So, who knows? Maybe that's what we'll do for the 50th. We'll throw a little carnival in there too, and the kids can come and play. But I'm really proud. I'm proud to be a part of it, and a lot of the hard work that gets put in. I think everybody really appreciates it. And, the team that I work with is some of the best people I've ever been around in my entire life. And they really know how to put on a live event like this. And I think you see it, and everybody, I can't tell you how many people came up this year and were just blown away from the quality of cars and trucks to just the things that we had on hand to do. And, we've expanded. The food stuff. We listen to people, and it's not just, the carnival type stuff. And, you can get a 3-foot long corn dog on a stick, but you can also get, a bowl of noodles, or you could get, I'm not sure if the sushi guy was there this year, but there was, Dutch Brothers everywhere and different things. And, we really try to make it, so that it's something for everyone, and you can come out and really enjoy it. And, I'm really proud. I'm really proud of the team and everybody that puts in all the hard work and everything to make it what it is. So
Good. It's
happy to be a part of it, really.
It's a fun time. We appreciate it, and we appreciate what you do for our community, for the truck community, for the C10 Nation, and wish you nothing but the best for the 50th. It's right. Like you said, you're going to be in Florida, and before you know it, you're going to be in Vegas, and then bam, it's going to be back here in Scottsdale 2021 and the 5-0, and we'll have to see how that goes. I might have to get another kind of kick it in with you before. I know you'll be hectic, but I know you'll take a few minutes out to catch up with us, so we appreciate it.
And I think next year, I think we need to, bring the podcast out, and I think maybe we need to try and do something from out there, and because it's like you say, I mean, you get to see all of your listeners and everybody, and we kind of congregate at this one place for this little event. And I think it'd be really cool if we could set something up, get a little round table with kind of everybody, and just go across kind of the experience of being there, and what all is there, and maybe we do something in the beginning we talk about what's there, what we all think or whatever. Maybe we throw a little money in the hat and see who gets closer to what, and have some fun with it. But, I'm looking forward to getting through all the other stuff this year and getting to the 50th and really seeing what's going to happen. I'm working on a lot of different stuff that I think will really blow people away when they come to the 50th. There's some special cars that we're working on, and some special things that we want to do, and some things that we want to unveil that'll really be cool to kind of show about the history of the company and everything, so everybody gets a real idea of where it all came from. But I don't want to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but I want everybody to plan on coming, because it's going to be a big deal, and it's going to be another event that people will be talking about for a long time. So
well, I'm in on the podcast there. I look forward to you letting the cat out of the bag later, or in the future here as we approach the 5-0. We're going to enjoy the 49. One thing that you made me think of that I probably wouldn't have mentioned, and it should be mentioned, is for me, being a guy behind the mic and being a media guy, SEMA, we go to Barrett Jackson, we go to different shows. I just want to say thank you from a media perspective, because Barrett Jackson, not only do I get a media pass, but then I get a room that has tons of media friendly, from charging to computers to this overhead visual of where I'm sitting, and the TV's in there, food, snacks, and that's something that I think is really probably goes unseen, and people don't say, you know what, they have a really nice media thing, and that's just one more thing that kind of classes the whole event up.
We look at it from a fact. I mean, we do what we do from our media side. I mean, we've got internal people and everything like that, but it's guys like you, Ronnie. It's guys like that come out and really report and everything and get the stories out. I mean, it's not just about the auction itself, but it's also about, the stories within the auction and the different vehicles that, we're selling. And there's always, everybody's got different likes and different genres and all of that. And so to have everybody come in and, we want people to come in and be comfortable and know that they've got a spot and they can sit down and kind of have, a database and home base, so to speak, about everything that's going on. And we want to give them as much information as possible so that they can really, put some stuff out there. I mean, I've worked with a lot of media people that come in and they spend their days in there, and they really go through and just really write some very specific things or overall things. And it's really important to us to get the word out and to all of the stuff that we're pushing for the hobby and all that. We want everybody to talk about it, because I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're there for. So I know they put a lot of time in the people that we have on our team that do all the marketing and all of that stuff. That's a big thing for them, the media room and how that's handled and all of that. So I mean, we need to cater to you guys. We want you to come in and feel comfortable and welcome and want to go around and write about stuff. And I mean, it's not uncommon. I've gone in at 4 a.m. to talk to the news guys and walk around and point out everything to people. And I don't know. I mean, that's kind of we got to get the story out. And I mean, we can only do so much, so we really rely all you guys to come in and, you know, put it out there. So, yeah.
It's a good marketing aspect when the media, you know, kicks it out in a positive light. So we appreciate it, because you guys and your team probably don't hear that often enough. Barrett 2020 in the books. Jeff, your team, thank you again so much, and we wish you nothing but the best, and we can't wait to catch up next year.
I appreciate it, Ronnie. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for tuning in, and hopefully I'll get to meet you all in person at some point.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
That's all, folks.